Hello everyone and welcome to The Freak Show. Today I'm going to be talking about my experience postpartum, more specifically 2 to 3 months postpartum. Is that right? Yes, because I was supposed to do a 2-month postpartum update and Skyla is going to be 3 months in just a couple days. In about a week she's going to be 3 months old. So now I'm going to kind of throw these together. This is my 2 and 3 month postpartum update, and this is going to be my last one because now I feel like a normal person again. So I'm not going to be doing these updates anymore. I realize that I'm very lucky that I feel like a normal person again because some women take a lot longer. So if you don't feel 100% yet, don't let this get you down because everybody's different and I can totally see how it would take a lot longer to feel back to yourself. I guess as I look at my list here, I don't necessarily feel back to myself, so that might be a stretch, but I do feel a lot better. I feel like a normal person again. I don't feel like a postpartum, like I don't feel like I'm in the throes of postpartum. Is that even an expression? I don't really know, but I don't feel like I'm in the thick of it. So let's talk about what has been going on. My baby's back there in the rock and play. The reason that I haven't moved her eyes are wide open. I haven't moved her up here just because it disturbs her and anything to keep her calm while I film this video. By the way, all of my jewelry and everything that I'm wearing in every one of my videos, I always link that below because I get a lot of questions about it. So let's move on. I'll say that at the end. First, let's start with confidence. Right after Skyla was born, I had none of it. Zero confidence. Now that Skyla is here and she's almost 3 months old and I'm a mom, I feel so much. I wish I could show you what Duchess is doing. She's got the nose Frida in her mouth and she's trying to pull it out of the pocket of the bassinet. No, Duchess. Being a mom has given me a whole new confidence, okay? Like, I just feel like I have fulfilled my destiny and I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel confident. I feel even more confident than I did before I had a baby. Now her claws are stuck in the side of the bassinet in the netting and she doesn't know what to do and she's panicking. Duchess? I spoke about in my 1 month postpartum, which seems like ages ago, but I spoke about in that video that I was having postpartum anxiety. I didn't know necessarily if I was feeling postpartum depression, but I do know that I was feeling postpartum anxiety. I think I talked about this on my first video, but I had called my doctor because it got really intense and I felt like I wasn't getting anything done. And it got really intense like right around the 1 month mark, and I called the doctor and she kind of coached me through it. She said that if I got to my 6-week appointment I was still feeling that way, that we would talk about medication or something. But once I got to 6 weeks, I'll cover that in a minute, I felt like a new woman. I just felt amazing, amazing, amazing. So I did not go down the route of being medicated for postpartum anxiety or postpartum depression. I talked about in my first video, my 1 month postpartum video, that I have a personal trainer, which her information will be linked below as well. And she told me a lot of different supplements to take that would help me kind of get my body back together. And I've been taking a green tea extract, I've been taking glutamine, I want to say that that's what it is, I'm pretty sure it's glutamine. I've been taking L-carnitine, vitamin B spray, and then the supplements I take at night, well, they're not supplements, I still take my prenatal because I'm breastfeeding. I also take Honest Company Lactation Plus. I am going to have a breastfeeding video and I'll talk more about boobies and breastfeeding and pumping and all of that when I have my breastfeeding video, but it would be too much to put in this one. And I'm also taking a DHA. I stopped taking the DHA for about a week because I was having some comments saying that these women were stopping taking DHA and their baby stopped having reflux, and that wasn't the case with Skyla. I stopped taking it for about a week and she still had reflux. Her reflux is actually getting a lot better, but I thought it might be because of the DHA and that wasn't it. So I am taking the Ocean's Mom DHA again. I am still wearing maternity clothes and that's just fine. My normal weight is around 125 pounds and right now I'm about 148 pounds. So, you know, I'm about 20 pounds away from what I used to be, my goal weight, and I'm not going to buy any new clothes at this weight just because my maternity clothes kind of, some of them just still fit and they work. I mean, I'm not going to buy clothes until I'm back at my normal weight, and that's going to take a while. My goal is Valentine's Day. We also have a cruise coming up and I'm so excited. That's going to give me the extra push to get my normal weight back because we have a cruise coming up in February, and that is going to be when my goal is. So I'm really going to have to kick it into high gear pretty soon. But I feel like steady weight loss, gradual weight loss is a lot healthier than dropping weight by doing some crazy fad diet, and I'm not into that. I've been tracking my macros. My trainer Amber taught me how to do that, and I'm aiming to work out pretty strenuously about 5 days a week, and then like on Saturdays we'll go for a morning walk, or we'll do something active on Saturdays, but I don't push it too hard on the weekends. I have plateaued a little bit on my weight loss these past couple weeks, and I think that that's a combination of the fact that it was my birthday this past week. We had my in-laws in town and we were eating whatever we wanted. Nick and I actually went out to a piano bar, and that's the first time since Skyla was born that I've actually gone out and like had a social evening, and I'm telling you, it was so much fun. My in-laws babysat, and I just had some pumped breast milk that I had frozen in the freezer, and they just fed her while we were gone, so it worked out really well. If the light changes in this video, that's because I'm using natural light. So, it's probably, the sun's going down, so let's see if Skyla will hang out with us while we film. Sometimes she's just really not into being held, but I'll see how long I can hold her while we film. Do you want to be in the video? Okay. So in the last video, we talked about my postpartum wound, where this little one made her way into the world, and I had a lot of people going, oh my god, that's so gross. Like, okay, whatever. Let me tell you something. Once you have a baby, nothing is gross anymore. Okay? The word gross doesn't exist after you've had a child. So I thought that I was going to have reconstruction. Like, it was just that bad. I thought there was no way it could ever go back to normal. How could it possibly ever be normal again? And I thought it was genuinely going to have to be reconstructed. My doctor even said, she was like, you know, it's a possibility, we'll recheck at 6 weeks. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch my 1 month postpartum video. When I went to have everything checked at 6 weeks, everything had actually gone back to normal. I have no idea how, but it had healed itself and it finally looks normal again. Or I guess as close to normal as it can be. But once you have a baby, the last thing that you're worried about is what your looks like. It was sore for a lot longer than I thought it would be. I mean, at 6 weeks, it was still sore. It's still itched at 6 weeks because that's from the healing. You know, when you have a wound and it's healing, it'll itch. I had that situation. It was not fun. I had to have antibiotics twice for a pH imbalance. And that's just because they give you so much stuff to doctor it that it can just mess stuff up. It's a whole new world. I can walk again. I can spin. I've been going back to spin. I've been walking. I only went on one run, like literally I've been on one run since I had Skyla, and it almost killed me, so I haven't tried again yet. But one thing that I will say about working out is I guess it's my uterus is very sore. Like my lower abdomen, especially when I do lunges, my uterus feels like it's on fire. It's just so sore and painful, like you pulled a muscle or something. It's the absolute worst. At the end of my pregnancy, I had so much cellulite that I didn't know if I would ever get over it. But my cellulite's getting a lot better. I thought that you guys would like to know that because I've had so many people be like, oh my god, I have so much cellulite too, it's driving me insane. Well, it gets better. I don't know if I said this, I think I did, but I've lost about 42 pounds since the day Skyla was born, so that helps. I still get cramps, and sometimes when I'm breastfeeding, I'll get cramps. Like they feel like a really sore, the same type of like, they're like contractions, like mini contractions. And I'm almost 3 months postpartum. I thought that was supposed to end at least by 6 weeks because your uterus is supposed to be back at the normal size by 6 to 8 weeks. And I still have them sometimes. My doctor put me on the mini pill, which was a disaster. If you saw my vlog, Mini Pill Ruins Lives, you know how I feel about that. She gave me the mini pill, which is a progestin only pill, and it's the only birth control, short-term birth control that you can take that will not affect breastfeeding. I took it, I was on it for 2 days, and 2 days of absolute hell. I was in a rage, guys. I'm not kidding. Like, it made me in the worst mood, and I got on it right at 6 weeks. So I was just starting to feel better, and then I get on that, and I was just, oh my gosh, it made me so frustrated with everything, so impatient, so just like mean. And then of course 48 hours after I stopped taking it, I think I was on it for, I don't know, I guess I was on it for a week or so. Like 48 hours after I stopped taking it, I was back to myself. I felt much better again, but I had a withdrawal bleed. So basically, when you stop taking the mini pill, you could have a withdrawal bleed, and it was basically like a period for a week long, and it was the worst, like absolutely the worst, because you're not supposed to bleed postpartum for, you know, at least a couple months if you're not breastfeeding. And if you are breastfeeding, some people don't get their period back until they stop breastfeeding. So I was like looking forward to that, but apparently that wasn't my experience. But ever since then, that was the only time I've bled, and I haven't gotten my postpartum period back, but that's because I'm breastfeeding. I don't know if I can say I'm exclusively breastfeeding because Skyla takes a pacifier. Sometimes she goes all night without eating, but I'm only 3 months, so I haven't got my normal cycle back yet. See, she's getting antsy. I haven't got my normal cycle back yet, but oh my gosh, who knows? If you guys watch my vlogs, I'll probably let you know. A random thing that I get asked a lot is, do you do sunless tanning while you're breastfeeding, and how does that work? And it's actually really hard. I've only done it once or twice since she was born. I mean, you can't put the sunless tanner anywhere around your chest, so getting a spray tan is pretty much out of the question unless you're gonna wear like a bathing suit or like a little bralette when you go in there, because you don't want to get any DHA on your skin where they breastfeed. So it is really hard, but it's doable. You just have to completely avoid the chest area when you apply it. I still have my stretch marks on my inner thighs, on the tops of my thighs, on my butt, on my hips. I didn't get any on my belly, which is insane because my belly was huge, if you guys remember it. And I still have the dark line down my belly. And I have a scar where my belly button ring was. If I remember, I'll show you guys what the belly looks like at almost 3 months postpartum. I think I'm a week shy of 3 months postpartum. I haven't been doing a lot to doctor my stretch marks because once Skyla was born, I just really stopped caring about them. When I was pregnant, it was the end of the world, and now I'm just like, whatever. So it's funny because I got so many comments like, who cares about stretch marks? Who cares? And I'm thinking like, what do you mean who cares? Well, they're moms. That's who doesn't care. Hi, what is it? Are you getting antsy? Are you getting antsy? I did buy some bio oil, so I'll probably put that on it every once in a while, but not enough for it to really do anything. I get headaches a lot. I don't know. I mean, I haven't been getting them a lot, but I'd say like once a week I'll have a headache. What is it? Here's some TMI info. After your postpartum bleeding stops, I think mine stopped at around 3 weeks, maybe a month. Once this bleeding stops, you have this stuff, I don't even know if I'm saying it right, lochia, something. It's basically just like fluid from what, I don't know, your uterus that has to come out once it gets, while it's contracting. It's disgusting, right? But my doctor told me there will be none of that. Once you stop bleeding, that's it. It'll be completely bone dry. You won't have anything else coming out. That was not the case for me. I had this lochia stuff for freaking weeks. It finally went away. But, I mean, I'm not kidding. Probably up until 2 months, maybe 2.5 months. No, not 2.5 months because it's been gone for a while. Probably 2 months. And it was yellow. I couldn't find anybody, none of my friends had experienced that, so if that's something that you experience and everyone's like, no, I don't know what that is, I do. I have lots of energy swings, like 1 minute I'll be super energetic, or one day, not 1 minute, like one day I'll be super energetic and I'll be like super, you know, I'll have all the energy to do everything in the world, and then the next day I'm like, Eeyore. Like I have no desire to do anything. And the fact that I just compared my moods to Eeyore, that's a whole nother level. Let's turn the page. Since I haven't gotten my postpartum period back, I'm probably not ovulating yet, I'm probably not fertile yet, but you always hear those, like, well, I guess they're not horror stories, but you always hear those stories about women getting pregnant right after birth. But my doctor pretty much said that I probably won't be fertile again, at least for 6 months, since I'm exclusively breastfeeding. But you know, it's different for everyone. Some women can get pregnant right away after birth, and some women won't get pregnant until they stop breastfeeding, and some women even take months after they stop breastfeeding. So it's a little scary for me not being on any type of birth control. It's kind of like Russian roulette. There's really no way for me to track my fertility on whether or not I'm ovulating yet or whatever. I won't really know that until I get my period back. But I would prefer to not get pregnant, at least until Skyla's 1 year old. Or at least until I get, until I feel like back in shape, until I feel like strong and fit again. That would be really nice. I was gonna talk a little bit about being a stay-at-home mom, and everyone thinks that stay-at-home moms have it so good. Well, a lot of people do, not everyone, but a lot of people think stay-at-home moms have it so good that we just sit around, watch Netflix, snuggle with our babies, and, you know, do nothing all day. And the reality is that being a stay-at-home mom can be very stressful sometimes, and also the lack of social contact can be very stressful sometimes, because Nick is out working Monday through Friday for a lot of the time, and he gets to leave, you know, have his day, and then come home and see Skyla and snuggle her. But for those hours that he's gone all day, you know, I'm here breastfeeding, changing diapers, taking care of Skyla, taking care of the house, doing all of our laundry. And I love what I do. I wouldn't trade what I do for the world. But sometimes I just feel like stay-at-home moms don't get the credit that they're due. And I only have one baby. So for those of you who have multiple babies, you're a rock star. Like, you seriously, you deserve a standing ovation, because it's not only physically hard, sometimes it can be emotionally hard too. Okay guys, that is really all. I'm sorry that I was rocking back and forth throughout the whole video, but everybody loves seeing Skyla, and I knew that you guys would enjoy having her a part of this video. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel. I normally upload Monday through Friday, but we all know that sometimes I get a little bit behind. I try not to, but it does happen. I'm human. And thank you guys so much for supporting us. We really appreciate it. And hopefully I will see you tomorrow. If not, I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Skyla says goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you guys my postpartum belly. Okay, Skyla will be 3 months on the 14th. That's in about a week. So here is my belly from the front, from the side, a little bit of stretch marks, and from the other side. So it's a work in progress, but we're getting there. Bye guys.